Good evening, everyone. Welcome.
Good evening.
It's so good to see you all. Thank you all for coming. We're so delighted to have you here. My name is Stephanie Budway, and I am the Luce Dean's Faculty Fellow, Assistant Professor of the History and Practice of Christian Worship and the Arts. I always have to write that down. I can't remember it all. And Director of the Religion and the Arts and Contemporary Culture program here at the Divinity School. We're so delighted to welcome you to CultureCommodity, celebrating Black History Month and featuring the art of Elisheba Israel Mrozik.
Thank you, everyone, so much for being here. Thank you to everyone at Divinity School. I really appreciate your time and energy in allowing me to put this piece together. Cloth and fabric are an integral part of identity and culture for every people. Culture, another noun, are the customs, arts, social institutions, and achievements of a particular nation, people, or other social group. Ankara print cotton. A lot of us know this as African print fabric. Africans, Black Americans, we wear it to represent our heritage and connection to the culture of African tribes that we think we may be descendants of. When you don't know your history, you make it up. Some of you may know that Ankara print fabric is not African. It was created by a Dutch company established in 1846 called Vlisco. The patterns were and are created by white designers as copies of Indonesian batik designs. We wear this thinking it represents us as a people. We wear this thinking that if I wear this, I am buying from people that were a part of my culture. I am representing myself as a person with this culture. And yet, no, you're not. It's actually made by Dutch people who made these Dutch wax block prints, and they were selling them to Asia. They were selling them to Indonesia and places like that. And they started in the 1800s during slavery. So they probably got some cotton from us.
Hey guys, my name is Christiana Fote. I'm here checking out Elisheba Mrozik's art piece opening here at the Vanderbilt Divinity School, downtown Nashville. Make sure y'all come out, check it out. If I tell you something, it's gonna be this right here. Come check it out for yourself. Come see it, come breathe it in, come take in what the message is that is being told to you through the stories of the creativity that she's put into this work. This is amazing.
All right. When you first walk into the space, into the room, it's confusing, ain't it? Stuff's everywhere. It's kind of haphazard. The placement, you can't see everything at once. You kind of duck and crawl and push things around and you search. Search for what? Things are obscured or hidden from view, and you must search for that one spot where you can see it all. But you're blinded and you're confused. And you may have given up on what the point of it all was. You may just leave because it's too exhausting to figure it out. And you got other things to do to live. It's confusing, ain't it? So is the nature of finding your true culture and identity as a Black person. But Black women specifically, because that's the main focus of most of my work, because that is the lens that I see from.
It went deep. It went down past the bone.
It's pretty deep, but and it's for us. I'm sure like Black women should see way more than anybody else who walks in that room. The message is about us.
Hi, I'm Emily Towns, Dean of Vanderbilt Divinity School, and so pleased that we will have this exhibit up for what is typically called Black History Month. But most of us are Black every month, so hopefully the impact of this exhibition will carry out through the rest of the year as it echoes into people's memories and our hopes and wishes This is definitely not, from what I can see as it's going up, what we generally have. We have usually flat pieces against the wall, wonderful artists, but this is going to ask us to interact.
You know, one of the things, each time I've gone through there and done the exhibit, one of the things that I'm quite struck by is what I think of as the ritual process element. There's a way, and we were talking earlier about wombs, and we were saying the word womaness, and I said, well, I was thinking about wombs today. The way in which, like, ritual process, it invites you in, and if you go through the whole thing slowly, it's not a smooth, you don't go through it smoothly. And so one of the things I'm curious about as you were going through it, what did you notice? What did you notice in your body as you tried to navigate that?
You know, I was going under one of the cloths, and you know, my knee, I was like, hold on. What you just said about the womb, it's going into a process where you're going to feel some pain, and what happens on the other side of that pain.
Hi, my name is Phyllis Isabella Shepard, and I'm on the faculty here at the Divinity School. I'm also director of the James Lawson Institute for the research and study of nonviolent movements. And I am so excited about this exhibition. In addition to what Dean Towns has said, I'm excited because of the emergent quality that I already experience. And I anticipate that it will cause us to interact both with what we're seeing, but also what's deep within. I'm already thinking of it as a spiritual journey, a pilgrimage that is deeply steeped in Black culture, Black ways of being, and Black hope.
The women on the wall represent those I have spoken to, those in my family, and those ancestors unnamed. We are blinded by the outside narratives, unable to see clearly who we are, because what they are telling us ain't what it feel like I should be. We find something after digging, and we wear it proudly, and then find out that ain't true either. That the fabric represents the paths that go all over and end in nothing when searching for your identity. The bright colors represent our desire to be seen as who we are and what we want to be defined as. Bold, and we in defying the status quo of what we should be. All the paths of fabric lead to the ocean and its endless vastness that is the place where we think we may find that knowledge in a land that is just as foreign to us as the one our ancestors found themselves in here. The Sharka spinning wheel represents the other culture in Southeast Asia that was stolen from, and that is now a part of our legacy as Black Americans who have embraced these fabrics as our own. And cotton is the commodity that began it all.
Absolutely amazing. It's gonna make me go bananas in here. This is crazy. I mean, it takes you, it pulls you in, it immerses you, and it just makes you realize maybe where I come from, but also how far I've come and how much more I have to go. Like, this is beautiful, powerful, raw. I don't think I have enough words to describe what this experience is like. Elisheba is a superhuman. Can't be touched.
Purple is for the royal and rich history that we come from. Blue is for the waters we crossed and what separates us. Red is for the blood spilled and the pain endured. And yellow is for the gold we are owed. African print fabric is a part of our culture now, whether we like it or not. But the ownership of who creates them in the future so that it is actually helping to elevate those whose culture it comes from is open if we are up for a challenge. They have been playing Monopoly for a few hundred years, so they do have quite the lead. What am I saying here after all of that? I am saying Black women must define themselves for the culture and rebuke outside influence, telling them what they can and cannot do, be, or say, and what imagery and aesthetics represent them. We come from so many varied peoples in Africa, and we became one people through trauma, but we do not have to stay in trauma. We must own. I began making hood cloth, which is those cloths hanging on that outside hallway, as a way to sit with and contemplate the true creation of a culture. First, I studied the process of making traditional Malian mud cloth, which is really hard to find, by the way, because I wanted to see the process in which something is imagined and then created and then shared until it becomes an integral part of a culture of a people. I also wanted to imagine how regular, everyday people can create and contribute to those things and take time to contemplate the meanings of the things we adorn, use, and support. I got a Ghanaian friend to send me cola nuts and the fabric to make hood cloth. And then I collected mud and dirt from the alleys in North Nashville, sorted the glass and other undesirable parts from them, and fermented that mud for a week. I then crushed the cola nuts with my assistant, and we boiled them and added water and made a dye. And then we finished the mud cloth by using the traditional dye process and in the traditional way. Excuse me. The motifs for the designs are ones that I've been thinking on when I think about creating a new culture. I started with beauty and hair, which is something that has been as political as being Black since day one. The patterns represent the hair baubles we used to wear on our plaits as little girls. They represent the baby hair and the edges on the end. They represent the braids and other integral hairstyles to us. I started searching for other Black artists and local artists like Elise Kendrick, whose practice has fabric elements, to source direct from makers whenever I need to roll my form. I use local Black businesses with connections to Africa, like Threads by Dreads, to source things to continue the connection to my ancestors as well. The challenge is to reach out to others and start to make this not just a me thing, but a community thing. It's time to disconnect our culture from colonialism and capitalism. It is a part of our history, but does not have to be one of our future.